Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. I am Rachel, and sitting across from me, or diagonally from me, is Mr. Matt Frederick.
Yes, hello there, and I appreciate you having me here. Thank you.
So today we are heading back to the lake, one of our favorite places.
Yeah.
Yes, and I remember that we're both fans of the lake.
This one will be significantly warmer, which I'm going to appreciate. It's actually Lake Titicaca, which straddles the border between Bolivia on the east and Peru on the west.
And this is a very high lake. It's about 12,500 feet high, and it's located in the basin in the Andes Mountains. And it's often said to be the highest navigable lake in the world, although I've seen some conflicting information on this. But as far as I can tell, it's the highest navigable lake that can be navigated by large ships.
That makes sense.
So we're going to go with that.
Cool.
And it's often called the lake at the roof of the world.
And that makes a lot of sense. It's actually the remains of an ancient inland sea that was there a long time ago, and it was actually a lot bigger at one point. But it is still large because you can see this thing from space.
And this lake, which has a very funny name, no giggles, holds a pretty important place in Inca mythology. And I know you remember when we did our Machu Picchu podcast that we talked about how that recent theory that Machu Picchu sort of resembles a mythic journey from Lake Titicaca to a place near Machu Picchu. And so now we're talking about Lake Titicaca.
Yeah, we've been loving on Peru lately, haven't we?
Yeah, I know. We're back.
Peru's a great place.
So Lake Titicaca is actually considered the birthplace of the Inca Empire.
Yes, and specifically the Isla del Sol, or the Island of the Sun. It's supposedly the birthplace of the first Incan leader. And it's also associated with one of their gods, like where one of their gods lives.
Right, Viracocha.
Yes, exactly.
Right. It's a pretty sacred place in general, and all throughout the different islands, you'll find lots of ruins and sacred sites and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there are actually 41 islands inside of the lake, and many of them are actually inhabited. Some of the big names: the Island of the Sun that we just talked about, the Island of the Moon, which makes sense because if you're gonna have a sun, you gotta have a moon.
Yeah, right.
The Amantani Island and Tequille Island, or Tequil.
I'm guessing Tequil.
Tequil.
Like Tequila Mockingbird.
Brilliant.
Bad joke. Anyway, so those are the traditional islands.
Yes.
But Lake Titicaca has more than traditional islands. It has floating islands also. They're like raft communities. These are so awesome. I think this is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And they're built by the Uros Indians. And so what happened was this group of Indians, they pretty much predate the Incas, but so they were around when the Incas were around. And so to escape like warring factions and stuff like that, they moved onto the lake to get away, sort of, like.
Yeah, it's hard to get armor.
Excellent spot for isolation, right?
Exactly.
And so they've been living there ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and actually their way of life in recent times has been impacted by modern civilization. Some of them actually allow tourists to visit their floating communities, which is pretty cool. Mostly for tourism, make money, obviously, which is interesting, but it kind of goes against the whole idea of
isolation.
But
right.
that's cool. Hey, guys, do what you got to do. Make that money. So some also have solar panels, televisions, post office. There are schools on some of them. It's crazy. One of them even has a 7-day Adventist church.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I'm just going to say that.
I agree. It's the only read. I can't even think of anything witty. That's just weird, 7-day Adventists.
Yeah, so in addition to these floating communities, you have boats made out of these same reeds. And the plant that they actually use is called totora. So, but it's found along the lake, and it's basically the one natural material that was available to them to make, boats and stuff. And the thing I love about these boats is that they have some of them have like the bows of the boats have these animal heads.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just so adorable. I love it. So I think that's all we got for Lake Titicaca. There's a lot to see there. Lots of funny names to pronounce and giggle at. We also have some articles on our site. If you're interested in more information on this lake, you can head to our wonderful site, howstuffworks.com, and type stuff in the search bar.
Yeah. And I think that's it for Peru this week. But hey, you never know. We might go back there really soon.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com and let us know what you think. Email travelpodcast@howstuffworks.com. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free on iTunes.